Everyone, Dr. Corey here. We are going to talk about DNA testing, okay? DNA testing has come a really long way in functional medicine. And to be honest, it's becoming one of my go-to tests that we use on any of our virtual patients throughout the United States or even in person. The reason for it is your genes hold basically your expression, right? They hold it all. And it's so important to get an understanding of genetically what you may be predisposed for, and any kind of like hurdles that we need to be on the lookout for as we're going through functional med. All right, so the key to genetic testing is how well can the provider put together the game plan. So when we look at ours, we've done a really good job with putting together the story in a really easy to understand, easy way to follow for our patients. Because if it's just snippets coming back and the patient doesn't understand what does this mean, it does them no good. So we have to be able to tell the story to our patients so they really thoroughly grasp what their genetic code is looking like, or snippets are looking like. Okay, so what does that mean and why? Let me give you a couple examples. So, in the past, with functional med, we do kind of current tests of like where is the body currently at, right? Based on hormones, based on whatever we're trying to identify as potential problems for the symptoms. So in the past, we've been able to, make food recommendations, exercise recommendations, or even supplement recommendations. The issue is sometimes these patients still wouldn't get results, right? So we'd be doing everything we thought we should be doing based on what we currently have as, the current time where they're at on their journey, but yet we weren't delivering, results. So some of these outliers, you're always, wondering why. Well, the cool news is now we're able to now have a genetic code where we can go back and understand why. Okay, so for instance, like let's say there's a high stress individual dealing with anxiety, dealing with any kind of adrenal type of issue. And in the past, bringing in B vitamins to help support that would be a smart move in functional med. Now, genetically, if they're unable to methylate or break down a B vitamin, you can bring in all the B vitamins you want, but you'll never deliver the results. Why? Because the patient's body was unable to break it down anyway or utilize it. Now, it doesn't just go for B vitamins, it goes for vitamin D, folate, how they respond to caffeine. All of that is now we're able to get reporting on that, okay? The other cool thing is background in strength conditioning, we're able to actually understand, what a person's genetic code looks like for what types of exercise they should be doing. Is walking better for an individual, or is more power-based? Is more recovery needed for those genetics? Or, can the person recover much quicker? We now have access to all of that. We even have access for, genetic codes on, is this person going to be a slower weight loss journey? Okay, that's really important for those that are really struggling with weight loss to actually understand that so that we can hold true to what we're doing, make sure we get results, but we got to stay there, right? Knowing that their journey is much more difficult if they have that snippet. Some people's bodies, they can't detoxify like they should. Okay, so if your body doesn't detoxify genetically like it should, like another person's, your fat is going to hold and capture much greater. So as a functional med provider, it allows me to understand, I really have to target detoxification on this individual because genetically they're not going to be able to detox like they should anyway. Okay, the breakdown of fat, they just, if they can't do it like they should, then what does that nutrition look like? So all of this is now really well brought to our attention via DNA testing. So I'm a huge advocate of it. Is one of the four tests I absolutely love to be able to help people feel better, whether it's, like I said, anxiety, depression, weight gain, low energy, brain fog, any of those things that more and more people throughout the U.S. are dealing with. We now have snippets towards that, okay? And look at caffeine. We can see now how caffeine affects everybody. There's some people that can drink coffee and go to bed, and there's some people that can drink coffee and are wired forever. Why? Because genetically they metabolize caffeine differently, okay? So that's so important to understand and know, so we have that foundation. So I strongly urge you, to reach out, and it's a very simple process. We just It comes right from our lab. It gets shipped to your door. You just administer it, send it back in, and then we get results. We sit down, or my virtual patients will go through a Zoom call, and we'll go through, I'll create the story and make it nice and laid out for you so you understand it. And we'll just go through in detail of, okay, here's what genetic code looks like. Here's where we're at. How are we going to deliver results, right? So that is genetic testing. We've helped a lot of people with it. It's opened the door to a lot of people as far as even like bone health, exercise performance, like I had mentioned, vitamins, absorption. So just a lot here. So strongly recommend it. You know, you're looking at about a $300 test, just shy of that. So, and it is literally the book of your genes to get you understanding of like, okay, what hurdles are we gonna have in the future? It's a one and done test, meaning it's not changing. So it's a one-time investment. So highly suggested. If you're interested, reach out to us. Corey at experiencereset.com, Kory at experiencereset.com. We'll get it sent out, and more than likely, I'd like to do a consultation first just to get an understanding where you're at, and then we'll get it kicked out. So genetic testing, do it.